Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues and comrades. The Socialist History Society is very pleased to have this joint public meeting with Women Solidarity for an Independent and Unified Iraq. Our thanks are due to Bishopsgate Institute for hosting this event. The London Committee of Socialist History Society has honored me to chair this meeting and present today's speaker, the Iraqi writer Haifa Zangana. I met Haifa for the first time in November 2006 at a conference in the Friends House, Houston. In her end of conference talk, she exposed the hypocritical nature of most of the so-named non-governmental organizations, NGOs, engaged in occupied Iraq. Her detailed analysis of the NGOs functioning, as she thought, as an integral part of the US strategy in Iraq, end of quote, brought her to conclude that the NGOs, quote, represent US colonial policy rather than the interests of Iraqi men and women. The two quotations above are from Haifa's latest book, The City of Widows, which includes her analysis of the mission of NGOs in Iraq. Jumping the queue, I should mention that Haifa is scheduled to be in New York on September 22nd to launch a new edition of her first book, Dreaming of Baghdad, for the Feminist Press, New York. In the next couple of months, before the end of the year 2009, she will be presenting papers on the evolving role of colonial feminists in occupied Iraq. First on October 4 to 7 in Beirut at the Arab Feminist, A Critical Perspective, then on December 9 to 12 in The Hague, Netherlands, at the Institute of Social Studies. Haifa's courage of her convictions reminds me of the phenomenal grandeur of miniature art in general, and in particular of the images of Sumerian, the ancient Iraqi Mesopotamian art of the cylinder seals. Minuscule images notwithstanding, they essentially have monumental and impressive presence. As you all can witness, Haifa Zangana is a tiny little woman, but she has a monumental personality and an impressive talent to tell what really is happening in the Middle East, especially in Iraq, and particularly what is happening to the Iraqi women. But most fascinatingly, Haifa also tells us what the Iraqi women used to make happen to the Iraqi society and to their feminist, humane aspirations. They waged for decades impressive anti-colonial resistance for independence and persistent struggles for genuine democracy, not the latter-day imperialism's camouflaged, nay, deranged version of it that reflects the servile ethics of bygone colonialism. As John Milton, the revolutionary Republican poet, once declared in his Apology of 1648, quote, "They who have put out the people's eyes reproach them of their blindness," end of quote. And yet Haifa tells us how good the Iraqi women have seen and continue to see and grasp the reality, both the causes and the effects of their tragedy. Moreover, they continue to act upon it, thus refuting the masquerading of that reality by the occupying powers and their local junta, both still adamant to oblige their grandmasters dictating roar. Once upon a time, well, 1500 years before the original Odyssey was written down by Homer, the king of Uruk in Sumeria, named Gilgamesh, quote, went on a long journey and brought to a tale of the days before the flood, and finally he engraved on a stone the whole story. That most archaic Odyssey, the Epic of Gilgamesh, also tells us about a haunting predicament worth lending our ears to, especially in our own turbulent times. Ishtar, the Queen of Heaven, asks the Heavenly Father of gods, Anu, the following: fill Gilgamesh, I say, with arrogance to his destruction. End of quote. Ishtar's plea kindled a paradox, as she herself was arrogance incarnate. Ishtar knew herself well. Unlike Gilgamesh, her safety was secured by her divine immortality. How through this quintomillennial wisdom of Sumeria sounds today, uttered in the land now occupied Iraq, the arrogance of the most powerful military power the world has ever witnessed is doing, it seems, its utmost to destroy itself. After having decimated the heritage of the land and its culture, annihilated over 1 million of its population, and left behind nearly 1 million displaced children, and close to 5 million Iraqi refugees roaming around in neighboring countries, even in their own homeland, too. And all because of the occupying powers' addiction to oil, as confessed not long time ago by the arrogant supreme commander of its awesome military conglomerate, the pre-Obama US president, now in the dustbin of history, so decreed by US voters. Arrogance is indeed a harakiri power. Ishtar is proving to be right. The City of Widows of 2009, that we have it on the table, and she will be very glad, the author, to sign it for you. The City of the Widows is the odyssey not only of its author Haifa Zangana, but also and essentially of the Iraqi women and their resistance to the unjust war and occupation, not devoid of a graceful yet taciturn eulogy to their resilience and tenacity for survival. Perhaps tinged with wishful thinking, I myself could also read in between the lines a compassionate, warning advice to the occupying powers to stop their indulgence in the brutal harakiri arrogance. Would they ever believe they are not divinely immortal, unlike Ishtar? Inshallah. Otherwise, Bertolt Brecht's theatrical aphorism will continue to pinch our alter ego. Quote, if sharks ruled the world, they would teach the little fish that it is a great honor to swim into the mouth of a shark. End of quote. Let us welcome Haifa to tell us her tale.